a song about growing up in the, I guess, late 70s, early 80s. None of you remember that, do you? You're all too young. You won't have a clue what I'm on about with some of this stuff, but when you get home, ask your mum or dad, they'll tell you. This song starts with a little boy with a nice pair of new shoes, and he's running down the road. He didn't get too many new clothes because his old man was always pissed. And he's got his new shoes on, and he's running down the road because he knows if he puts on his little smile and he's charming enough, his old auntie is going to give him a few bob. He learnt young how to charm the girls. CDs for sale. Not working like it used to, I tell you. When I got a pair of new shoes, I went down the road to where my auntie lived. If I was lucky, I got 10 bob, I would waste it on a bag of sweets. I'd run down to the chippy for some crackling and a can of Coke. I was given £2 once there by some pikey bloke. The pikey won the money on the fruit machine, and people said pikeys, they were mean, but they always seemed alright to me. I know it sounds funny, that's the way we used to live. We had bugger all, we was alright. Our idea of heaven was a water fight. Things always got out of hand. I think me little brother had it planned. I know it sounds funny, that's the way we used to live. Well, it's a cliche and it's a lie. I won't say it, I won't try to say how much we had. We had nothing at all. But it's a God-forsaken crime that you can't go back in time to see how much we had with nothing at all. Tomorrow's World was on the telly before Top of the Pops. Well, that was years before all the crap they now call hip-hop. Elton John was #1 with Kiki D, she had a lovely bum. I know it sounds funny, that's the way we used to live. Well, the Sex Pistols causing mayhem with Bill Grundy. Do you remember that? Yeah. My old nan, she wanted to complain to the BBC, but my old granddad laughed at that. I think he thought Grundy was a twat. I know it sounds funny, it's the way we used to live. Well, it's a cliche, it's a lie. I won't say it, I won't try to say how much we had nothing at all. It's a God-forsaken crime when you can't go back in time to see how much we had with nothing at all. 77 was the year of the Silver Jubilee, but the old girl, she left home, so it wasn't great for me. And my old man, he was always drunk, and I think that's why I became a punk. I know it sounds funny, it's the way we used to live. I left school in 81 and there were no jobs, things were really bad. The Specials were singing Ghost Town, it was really sad. And about that time I was properly kissed. 2 bottles of Blackthorn, well I was very pissed. I know it sounds funny, it's the way we used to live. Well, it's a cliche and it's a lie. I won't say it, I won't try to say how much we had with nothing at all. It's a God-forsaken crime when you can't go back in time to see how much we had with nothing at all. Well, it's It's a knockout was the highlight of my week. Just the frontier was the way foreigners speak. That's how posh we really were, and to no one I will concur. I know it sounds funny, it's the way we used to live. I don't want to get too political, but this is a song I can't avoid it. This is a song about how the working class and the poor people where I come from have always borne the brunt of all the shit that goes down in this country. We're the ones dying in the wars, we're the ones paying the price of the bankers and the politicians scheming and conniving and thieving. And we're the ones getting stabbed on the streets at night while they live in their gated communities. So, with that in mind, and not being too political, I just want to say fuck 'em. I don't mean that. Yeah, I do, fuck 'em. Anyway, this song, I wrote this thinking of my old granddad, who was a decent, good man and never had nothing. These old hands, these cracked hands, these dirty, broken, bleeding, old cracked hands. They raised a family, they held a wife, they saved a country, they took a life. They worked coal mines, they built cars, they won stew pleasures, they bore the scars. Well, they built a house, they fired a gun, they died in battle more than once. They knew the price, and they played it fair. But when they reached for what was theirs, it wasn't there. Well, they raised livestock, they pulled a plow, but it's begging, it's not working, they do now. They were strong, with an iron grip, and at the Falklands they went down on a burning ship. Well, they fought bar fights, they held a child. Well, they were tender, and they were wild. They gave it all that there was to give. To you from a doorway, they're begging just to live. With these old hands, these cracked hands, these dirty, broken, bleeding, old cracked hands. My father's hands were dirty, but they were true. An honest, hard day's work, well, it's all he ever knew. Well, they were ruled with an iron rod. When they prayed to God. They dug graves and trenches on the Somme. Well, now there's poppies burning in our streets, and you ask me what went wrong. These old hands, these cracked hands, these dirty, broken, bleeding, old cracked hands, these working man's hands. Struggling with a line. We come up with a few different lines. One involved Eric Clapton in a Ferrari, and someone in a Morris Minor. But I went with, or I'm gonna go with, we'll see what happens. This is a reworking of a Charles Dickens song, The Ghost of Christmas Past. It's a guy who's heartbroken. It's a guy who's always relied on his music to get him through. The spirit of rock and roll has always come down and saved him from whatever place he's in at the time. And this time it sort of leaves him wanting a little bit. He's not quite sure anymore if he's going to get through. So the gods of rock and roll, they send down 3 of their very best to try and convince this fella that everything's going to be all right. So this is called The Ghost of Johnny Cash. Sitting thinking about the songs I should be singing, the words I should be telling you, the lies I should be selling you, the way I've been to hell and you know me all too well. And you look at me and tell me, you look at me and tell me that I'm wrong, 'cause you can't save your life, you can't save your life with a song. Well, our love lies in the ashes, but I tell you Johnny Cash is gonna come down here and talk to me, tell me how things are gonna be, reveal the truth and set me free, free from all this heartache that's been holding me down. Down because he told me, down because he told me all along. He said, I'm sorry son, but you can't save your life with a song. Roy Orbison, he sang to me with that voice so high and free. He told me of that mystery, the one that's been eluding me. The way of living happily is to take those goddamn demons one by one. You take your goddamn demons one by one. Well, even the big O, he can't save your life with a song. And Chris Christopherson, he would know how I feel here tonight. Waylon Jennings, he would tell me everything's gonna be alright. In that black Trans Am, he just put his foot down to the floor. And the killer Jerry Lee, he just buy a gun and shoot that whore. He came to me in my room and he's telling me, do you hear that lonesome melody, that lonesome deadpan flat delivery, the one I used effectively? Well, I tell you son, between you and me, that is where you will find the answers to your song. He said, and you just might find the answers to your song. Save your life, you will save